What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson, and I am joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Choops, my friend, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great. As I reminded you pre-show, I am always a heel, and
You
I
did?
know this is a wrestling podcast.
Oh, I know where
However,
this is going.
I just need to say, Who Day. That's all. That's all. These elves smacked you on Sunday, didn't they? I'm supporting my wife, folks. I'm an Eagles fan, but I am supporting my wife, who is a Browns fan, because I'm a great husband. And
Dude,
go Browns.
that honestly might be the meanest thing you've ever done to me.
Just get that elf in there. Look at that. Look at that guy.
All right, you know what? All right, it's okay. Was it the best game for the Bengals this week?
It was the worst game ever.
It's up. I'd say that him, tearing his knee up was worse, but
that's fair.
Yeah, it's okay. We're gonna bounce back in week 2. Ugly loss, but it's all good. I got faith.
Like I said, I'm a heel at heart, and I would be remiss if I didn't wear this shirt today, just for you, Mr. Cincinnati.
I appreciate that. I definitely should have seen that coming, and yet I'm somehow still very surprised. I mean, that's.
I still love you, though. I will say that. I
love you too, but I expected better from you. But this is great. So okay, all right. Anyway, if you are new to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. Make sure to hit that QR code in the corner. Like, share, subscribe, follow us along on this journey. Help us to get those likes and follower counts up. Buddy, we've had an interesting couple of days here in the world of wrestling. I think that we came into this episode today with a little bit more than we might have expected to talk about today. Let's start here. It's the end of an era. A new era begins. The McMahon era, as far as ownership of WWE, is over. The WWE UFC merger is complete. TKO Holdings is the new name. Vince, Triple H, Kevin Dunn, Nick Khan, Ari Emanuel, and others were at the New York Stock Exchange to kick off the day today. How do you feel about this? I mean, I know that in a business sense, this is massive. If you're a wrestling fan, this is massive. But if you're just kind of a Joe Schmo out on the street, kind of seeing this going on, what's kind of going through your head?
Yeah, I mean, this is it. This is Vince McMahon is no longer kind of the head of WWE anymore. Technically he is, technically he's not. But they don't own the WWE anymore. And if you'd have told me that 2 years ago, I would have probably told you were crazy.
Yep.
It's an interesting day in wrestling where you see, how long had they held that company? 40, 60 years, something like that.
Yeah, give or take.
And he's the one that kind of started the whole thing and, ate up all the territories, made it the global empire that it is. And he made a nice chunk of change selling it.
Yeah.
So did Nick Khan made some good money. Kevin Dunn made some good money. Triple H made some money. Yeah, and we'll see where this goes. I don't know what this exactly means for the company, because they've already been publicly traded, so it's not like they have that aspect to kind of grow into. It's a new. Is Ari Emanuel going to be that final boss now, or is it still going to be Vince? If Vince has an idea, does he have to get that cleared with Ari Emanuel? We don't know what that looks like. Yeah. It sounds like Ari Emanuel wants Vince to be in charge, make all the big picture decisions. Does that mean the Saudi deal? Does that mean international, shows? Does that mean where WrestleMania is? I don't know. We'll have to see what that looks like. I will say there was a couple at the merger celebration or whatever the hell that you call it. Did you see who was there? The wrestling couple that was there?
Oh, yeah. Tez and Bianca, of course.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Look at that. Montez Ford is a star, guys. Let's make this happen.
They are superstars. I mean, that's we've talked about that on an earlier episode. Also, check out our archives on Spotify if you've not already. But we talked about that comparison between Tez and Bianca versus AEW's sort of couple face of the company, Adam Cole and Britt Baker, and I mean, there's very clear differences here, and this is a huge move for them. By all accounts, it seems like Vince is still going to be final say. Triple H is day-to-day creative, but even last night there were rumors of massive changes by Vince now that he is relatively healed from his spinal surgery. So we know that the old man's presence is still going to be there. That's for sure.
Which we would have been naive to think that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, when this happens and, we haven't got a resolution to the lawsuits quite yet, like we knew Vince was still going to be around no matter what.
Sure.
It's whether, what happens now. Does he take a little bit more hands-off approach now that he has a boss? Because he's never had a boss before.
It's also true.
What does this mean for him? I think his last boss was his dad. So that was years and years and years and years ago. So we'll see what happens. They TKO, like, okay, it's cool. I don't really care. UFC wise, like, I don't know what this means for UFC.
Probably see more at PLEs, I'd have to imagine.
I don't like, are we going to see, like, to your point, are we going to see fighters at PLEs? Are we going to see any cross promotion? I know Cormier was at the merger too. We've seen him in WWE. What does this mean for UFC? We're not a UFC pod, we're a wrestling pod, so I don't really know that aspect of the business. I haven't watched UFC in forever, so
I did watch the fights this weekend, but I was also at the E, so surprise.
Yeah, surprise. Yeah, it's it's weird to have Vince not be sole owner of the company. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah. But since we were on the topic of Vince, we are on the topic of major changes and shakeups, which he's always done to Raw. We did have a massive return that this was not on anybody's radar here. I went to bed early and I did not finish Raw until this morning. And of course, the first thing I see on YouTube is a thumbnail spoiling the return. So I'm like, all right, great. The one time that I go to bed early is when I get, a return early? Now. Yeah, about a half hour,
You feeling okay?
Yeah, I feel fine. It's a Jets game. Took it out of me. I wasn't going to win the week, so, that's fine. But Breece Hall, though, help me out.
Nia Jax.
Yeah, so Nia Jax is back. Released in 2021 as part of the initial budget cuts, quote unquote, during the pandemic. Did have a one-off return in this year's Royal Rumble. We have varying positions on this, and this is definitely polarized the internet. So let's just get right into it. You've been waiting all day to talk to me about this, so I'm going to let you kick it off, Dad.
Does this move the needle at all? Like, for you, does this move the needle at all?
I won't necessarily say move the needle.
The answer is no. The answer is no, Eric. At all. And you cannot justify and tell me that this does anything to help the women's division. You know who's not coming back now?
Who's not coming back now?
Kairi Sane.
Are we confirmed about that?
You think she's going to want to come back to the company that has Nia Jax, the one that gave her multiple concussions?
That doesn't mean that they have to work together. Jeez. Okay. Look.
No, this is terrible.
Okay. All right. You want me to answer your question? No, it doesn't necessarily, quote unquote, move the needle, but there is a depth that I think that this women's division could use. And here's why I say this. So we're just going to look at, and I took the time to pull this up today. Here is the entirety of the Raw roster right now. And I do think that they could use her for some of this depth. So we've got Becky, Candice LeRae, Chelsea Green, Emma, Indy Hartwell, Katana Chance, Kaden Carter, Liv Morgan, who's out with an injury, Maxine Dupree, who's more of a valet, Natty, Nikki Cross, who's just not on TV or main event, Piper, Raquel, Rhea, Shayna, Sonya's out with the ACL, Tegan Knox, Trish Stratus, Valhalla, also a valet, Xia Li, and Zoe Stark. Now,
it's a good roster.
It's a solid roster, but I feel like there is a solid drop-off between your upper echelon and everybody else. That's just me.
Where's Nia Jax at?
She can be the buffer between the two. That's my thought on it. We already see they're going to push her relatively close to the top of the card. Are you saying that we can't use some of these other talent? Especially, think about Clash with Piper Niven. Think about what they could do if they bring Xia Li back. Somebody that they can break down that other boss to get to the upper echelon talent we got there. There's a significant drop off there if you ask me.
No, you had. So what is the major draw of Nia Jax? And this is just being, I'm not being mean or anything, but like, what is the major draw of Nia
It's a
Jax?
size. Yeah. I mean,
It's her
absolutely.
size.
Absolutely. It's a size.
I agree.
Yeah.
Why can't
She
Piper
knows how to
Niven
play a
fill that
monstrous
role?
heel. I would love for her to play. I
You
would love
have
for her to fill that
somebody
role.
on the roster to fill that role now, and you wasting it. She's a better wrestler than Nia. She's a better promo than Nia. You have it on the roster. Why bring Nia back? What does that do?
We're also, whether we like it or not, those women's tag team championships are still an anchor. So you do need depth if you're going to continue to have that tag team division as well. And we know that a lot of these women are going to be slotted in the tag team division. Okay. How many more people realistically on this list, we'll just take the top of the roster here. Who else do you want to see Becky Lynch do battle with next? Like, of all the names that I just
see
read.
with Nia Jax.
But that's not what I asked you. I asked, out of that list, who would you want to see her tear it up with next? Because we don't know where she's going. Okay. All right. Piper Niven. Who else?
If you build Xia Li, that's a match.
I would love to see them build Xia Li. I don't know why they don't. She's just on the milk
Knox
cart.
is a good wrestler.
I agree.
I'll go down the entire list of the people you just named that I would rather see before I see Nia Jax.
Okay.
No, I'm saying that roster. That roster is an entire list I would rather see before Nia Jax. I just don't know what Nia Jax brings to the table. I really don't, besides her size. And there was a free agent that I think re-signed with Impact that you could have went and got in Jordynne Grace.
Oh, yeah.
To fill that role. Who is a better wrestler. What has Nia been doing? Has she been wrestling?
She was advertised
she's gotten
for
any
that.
Better?
She has been advertised, or at least for that one wrestler entertainment thing that Authors of Pain did, and that just kind of, fizzled out by the wayside, or they were, using her name when they weren't supposed to, something like that. I don't know what she's done outside of the Rumble this past year, but just because,
not wrestling wise.
Yeah, well, as far as we know, I mean, as far as maybe not anything that's like, okay, here's a show where she's hyped, she's got an in-ring appearance, but I mean, I'm not with her all hours of the day. Are you, to know whether she's been training to get back in the ring shape? We saw her. We saw her give a Samoan slam, came in just to surprise. Let's see where this goes. You say that all the time, even with stuff you don't want to see. Let's see where this goes.
I do, but I like this one. I've seen where it goes. I've already seen this movie. I've already seen Nia Jax in the women's division. It doesn't do anything. Like, do we honestly think she's going to beat Rhea Ripley? Like, in all honesty, no, it's not going to happen. This is just somebody for Rhea Ripley to beat. So what value is this adding to your division? It's not.
I mean, and that's fine. I disagree. I mean, I do think that she can still be a buffer between some of those names that are at the top of the card and others that are not. Okay, we've seen her work all over the card. She's done the tag team thing. She's done the heel monster singles run. She can do all of that. But a lot of this list, I'm not necessarily chomping at the bit to see, Rhea just destroy without a proper build. Okay, well, yeah, we have to take that into account too. But I mean, I can't control that. Neither can Nia Jax.
So you can't tell me like a Candice LeRae Rhea Ripley match wouldn't be awesome.
I would absolutely love it, but we both know that they're not. I mean, they were going to do a dog water job of trying to build her into an actual singles competitor and just shoehorn her into the tag team division with Indy, because we've seen them doing that with her already.
Just like they're shoehorning Nia Jax into the women's title picture.
I would agree with that. I don't think that they necessarily need to rush her into that right away. I really don't.
Seems to be what personally we're doing.
Yeah, well,
came back and attacked the women's champion.
Okay, all that I'm saying is this. It's too early to say whether this is a detriment to this roster or not. That's all that I'm going to say. And for anybody that is out there that simply wants to say that they don't want her back because of her size, like go touch grass. Okay, I know that's not what you're saying, but I'm not going to act like this. I mean,
no,
that's that's a lot of the argument. So seriously, go touch grass if you feel that way and get off our channel. But let's just see where it goes.
What's your favorite Nia Jax match?
We're going back to the takeover days. Program with Bailey. but also because yes, Bayley's
Also
a great
because of
wrestler, so
Bayley.
that helps. Okay.
So your favorite Nia Jax match is something that is because
Involved
of somebody
Bayley,
else.
yeah, and involved Bayley. But you're asking what my favorite Nia Jax match was, and I gave you an answer.
I don't know what she brings, and I feel like there's like, and we'll go back to the point. You spent the money on Nia Jax because you know she's not cheap.
Probably not.
She's in that that Samoan heritage. She's not cheap. So you didn't want to pay Trinity. You didn't want to pay Mercedes Moné.
You know that those are different. You know there's more to those. You know there's more to that needs to be resolved. That we're just not going to know about.
You're telling me if they wrote a big fat check, neither of those two would come back?
I don't know. I'm not them.
Yeah, they would. Money talks, buddy. You know that.
Well, here's the thing.
I just think,
if that was
there's so much women's talent out there that Nia Jax is not it.
Well, it's what we've got, and that's all we can do is react to what it is that we've got.
Yeah.
So we'll turn the page. We'll see what happens next week.
You and I are on different wavelengths on that, and that's fine. We're allowed to disagree.
That's fine. Yeah.
As I always say, let's see where it goes. Talk to me in about 3 weeks when we go to Fastlane and we have to watch Nia Jax live.
Okay.
And I'm going to get your reaction. I'm going to get your reaction after the match.
Okay.
And then I'm going to bring it back.
That's fine.
I'm going to put it on a shirt.
Okay.
I'm going to wear it on the next pod.
Okay. And if that shirt is great, then you got to make sure to buy that shirt. Yeah. See. Whatever.
I don't know. I feel like she got signed because of her size, and that's what she is. But you have Piper Niven that would be better in that role. That's just me personally. I think Piper Niven should be in that role because of all the things I stated. Better wrestler, better on the mic, but they're just not getting behind her for whatever reason. I don't know why. Is it because of her size? Then it doesn't make sense you brought in a Nia Jax. I mean, they named her Dewdrop. Like, that was stupid. It was stupid.
That was bad. That made me upset for a very long time. Still does.
But like, Piper is just better. And if you're going to give that role because of size, it just doesn't make sense that Piper, and I'm happy Piper's on TV and getting the push she's getting. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll give it a chance and we'll see.
Yeah. And wouldn't you say that it would be nice to have somebody else that is more physically similar to Piper Niven to eventually have have a clash with? Remember how, for example, just hear me out on this example. All Out with Hobbs and why am I blanking on? Yeah, exactly, because it was just size on size and just a great bout. And I think that Piper Niven could do the same thing with the Nia Jax. I think that with Piper Niven having this run with Chelsea right now, eventually I think we'll get a lot of the crowd behind her that you can spin her off into a babyface of that size. She's eventually going to need a heel of that size to go up against.
You know what Nia Jax is to me?
What's that? Who's that?
The Great Khali. They're getting pushed because of their size. They can't wrestle. They can't cut a promo. They're getting pushed because of their size.
Yeah, let's just hope that nobody makes her say, ow, my hole again. Jeez.
She said that herself.
Nia, sweetie, please don't do that again, okay?
I'm just
yeah.
I don't know. That's where I'm at. We're Raw was weird. And we'll talk. We'll kind of transition here, but Raw was a little weird.
I think that we can agree on this. Cody Rhodes has been more or less directionless since defeating Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Last night, came out, talked to the crowd, or almost attempted to. Very short segment. That was that.
You want me to say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
What the hell are they doing with Cody Rhodes? Seriously, like, what are they doing?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, he's so universally beloved. Like, basically he has this power to just show up wherever he wants, and if that is indeed the case, give him something to sink his teeth into. I mean,
something.
You have to think that there's going to be more involvement with Jey Uso and at least trying to have his back, now that he's over on Raw. Remind me, did we see or hear who's going to be going over to SmackDown? as a result of this.
Didn't even mention it on Raw.
Even though they told us significant draft compensation and all that good stuff.
So they mentioned it on SmackDown on Friday, but they didn't mention it at all on Raw last night.
Interesting.
Is he hurt? Because you got, I
don't think so.
So the last couple weeks, so he was in a 6-man, and then it was Payback. He did a talking segment. He wasn't on Raw last week. He didn't do the India show, did he? Or did he? Was he with Cena? Mute.
My bad. It was Cena and Rollins that took on Imperium in that match.
So he wasn't on the India show.
I don't believe so, no.
And then he has a talking segment this week where he got a little physical, but
yeah.
Is there something, maybe he's dealing with like a small injury or maybe? Like, because this is me trying to figure it out. Like, it doesn't make sense that you don't have your biggest babyface in a program with anybody right now. And it's almost like they put the Judgment Day Band-Aid on it to fix it.
Yeah, and just because it's easy to do. And, we get it. Judgment Day is going to be the new bloodline. They're going to be the new focus of overall programming, which, it's not like we haven't seen this before. But, yeah, when you've got Cody Rhodes, and at this point, I'm just going to look at the match card for Fastlane since we are going to Indy for that and see what's even been announced so far.
I don't think anything's been announced yet, has it?
We're going to find out.
It's just like there's one guy on the roster that I think you could heat up and like have a challenge for Cody. But
you want Bronson Reed, don't you?
I want Bronson Reed because that's a big enough obstacle where I think you could get some legs out of it and get him to the Rumble. Like, you have him do this Fastlane match. You get the Survivor Series where he'll probably be in the big War Games match. And then you're at the Rumble. If you could have a couple TV matches with Bronson Reed, like, that is something that I think he's that big heel, that another huge obstacle that Cody could get past. And, like, who else they're not going to have him with Gunther. That's obviously not happening.
Yeah.
Who else is there?
Well, if he was not so preoccupied with Xavier Woods, I would say we speed up that heel turn for Drew. Cody and Drew would be a lot of fun. Very similar stories of walked away or were released, killed it on the Indies. Now they're back. Another stratosphere, That's a feud I could get behind as well. That would be fun as well, and I'm sure that it's coming sooner than later.
Like, Cody, you brought Jay over here. I've been feuding with Jay for the last 2 years.
I introduced you to the Young Bucks is a line that they could use in a promo.
Yeah, they could. You EVP.
Yeah.
Why did you sign me?
Acknowledge it once,
Yeah, I don't. Cody's being used weird. Like, they just seem like they're using his theme to get him over, and they're just kind of keeping him around. And I don't know, like that's a big signing that you made, and had a heck of a first year. With the whole Peck issue, and then winning the Rumble, and then kind of dropping the ball at Mania, and then the feud with Lesnar was good, but I need something that's going to get him to the Rumble, because I think he's going to win the Rumble again. I think he's going to go in number 1 and win the Rumble.
Well,
but I need to get there.
I would also, and just hear me out on this, War Games is right around the corner. I could see them protecting him for that and preserving his schedule for that, just so they hopefully don't run into another issue like they ran into for Hell in a Cell in 2022, where we had to go into that basically like a one-winged angel.
But he did it.
I don't know. I know that he did. And I'm just grasping at straws here because I don't understand it either. I get it. He's got it. He's got the look. He is the prototypical WWE babyface with a throwback vibe. And they're loving that right now. It's just, he needs a program to sink his teeth into. And it doesn't really need to be Judgment Day. But if it is going to be Judgment Day, then you need to make it known that it's going to be Judgment Day.
Well, then don't do it with Dominic Mysterio, who seems like the weakest member of Judgment Day.
Yeah.
We've already seen it.
Yeah. I could even see it being fun using JD McDonough as a quick it doesn't necessarily need to be a Fastlane match or anything like that, but like a TV 10 o'clock match or even potentially a main event with a tag team match or something like that. That could be an interesting way to just kind of kick all this off and give him something to kind of incrementally chase towards in the larger Clash of War Games. Because it seems like, I mean, if War Games is going to happen this year, then I don't see how there's a world where Cody Rhodes isn't in it.
He has to be in it, and I think it's going to be with Judgment Day. Like, I just don't know a credible heel for him to go up against, because he's not going to go against Priest or Finn. No, he's already done that. He wrestled Dominic at Money in the Bank. We saw that.
Yeah.
You know who would be good to kind of hold him off for a little while?
Yeah, who?
Logan Paul.
I actually do really like the idea of that. That would be cool.
I'm just trying to think of like floaters. Like Logan Paul could come in, and I think they could get a couple months out of that.
Yeah. I guess the question, I mean, especially because now that there is no December PLE, is that something you do at the Rumble, Elimination Chamber, or would you bring Logan back sooner than that in order to make some
I'd bring him to Fastlane. Because what's Fastlane look like right now? Again, we have nothing announced, but if we're just projecting, like, I think it's gonna be Rollins and Nakamura. And
we'll probably see Nia versus Raquel. I'm just listing matches, bud. You think we're gonna get there already?
Yeah, I think Raquel right to it. I think Raquel's a Raw match. I think Raquel's last couple matches kind of hurt her push with Rhea.
It's unfortunate too.
They weren't the most exciting in the world.
No, I'll give you that. I mean, it's
which is weird because their stuff in NXT was great.
Yeah, and I think that in some ways I feel like they overbooked it a little bit with all the injury stuff that kind of came along with it, and Liv getting hurt certainly didn't help, because I think that they would have had more time with a tag team championship reign to eventually spin her out and get her, something that she can sink her teeth into. So I mean, I'll just call that a victim of circumstance, But
and I think Liv was going to challenge Rhea eventually for it. And that's a program,
which would also be a great match. Yeah.
Could they do Cody and Jay? I don't know why you would. You don't want Cody to lose.
No. So you don't want Jay to lose either.
No. Do you think Jay's going to beat Drew next week? Or is it going to be Smosh?
Schmoss, I would say that something probably happens where New Day gets involved, and that might be where he snaps. At this point, McIntyre is essentially more or less back into the singles ranks, given everything. I'd say anyway, given everything that's going on with Matt Riddle right now, and that's a whole other can of worms. I personally would want to hear more about what comes out about that before speculating, just because I don't know. I mean,
he wasn't on Raw, but
no, she's not going to be on any of the shows this weekend. Loop in New York either. So,
but it's under investigation. So, for those who don't know, I know we'll dive into it a little bit. Riddle was claiming that he was sexually assaulted at JFK Airport. That's kind of all we know right now is the allegations. He obviously wasn't on Raw tonight. He's not advertised for anything this weekend, so we'll let it play out. Kevin Owens did mention him, so whatever that means.
No.
But that's when that story gets a little bit more clear, we'll get that out. Another question I had for you, and I threw it on the dock. If you have anything else on Cody, or if you're wrapped up on that.
So I was literally just scrolling through the Raw roster, and there's a name here that intrigues me because, yes, he was drafted to Raw, but we ain't seen him. Odyssey Jones could be another one of those Bronson Reed types. Just he's got the size, he's got just that look of just big, burly Mark Henry vibes. Could be another name that if they, I don't know, I'd need to see more of it, but that does mean that, I mean, worst case, you could find a heater for him. Realistically,
I just think the Bronson Reed thing, they've established him as the big bad heel, and
sure,
I don't know.
Or they could establish Veer.
Cody doesn't want to lose to Veer. That'd be
Veer doesn't want to lose Cody.
I would take that at this point. Get Veer on TV. my God, people, the guy has money.
I thought you might. In case you guys didn't know, if you're new to the channel, Chris really, really, really likes Veer.
I think they have something in Veer that they just don't see. He's got a great
You know who
backstory. Google him.
Yeah, but you know who they do have something in, and you know who does see it? WWE. And who's that in? The longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, Gunther, coming out to celebrate that victory. And man, this was the epitome of polish last night, dude. An in-ring segment, no wrestling for Imperium is always a nice touch because it is so rare. And this was a well-deserved moment for all three of these guys. So we know Chad Gable is likely going to get a rematch, hoping it's at Fastlane because I want to see that live.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, this title feels like something again, man. And it's been a while since it has.
Do you think Gable's going to take it off him now? Now that this feud is not done? I thought it was done after last week.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still like to see it. I'm biased. I don't think that we need to. I don't think that Gunther needs to lose it right away now that he has the record, because then that calls into. I feel like that calls into credibility. Oh, well, he lost it so soon after breaking the record. Was that all that he was hanging in there for? And I don't necessarily want that to be how his reign ends for this either. I just want to throw this out there as well. And we have not seen this since WrestleMania 6. I don't think it should be out of the realm of possibility that we see Intercontinental Champion versus WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I say we keep an open mind about that, because if there was ever a guy that you like that has credibility that could go in, win the Rumble, still have his Intercontinental Champion, still be fending people off to make it look like I'm the number 2 guy on that roster, it's him. And you're going to buy into that, whether it's Rollins, whether it's Nakamura. Like, I don't see any reason why you can't do champion versus champion this year. Have some fun with it. It's WrestleMania 40. That's my suggestion off the fly.
How did that story end? Did Warrior just relinquish the Intercontinental title, or did he?
I think so.
It?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think relinquish. Yeah.
I don't remember. That was a long time ago. Like you said, that was WrestleMania 6. We're on WrestleMania 40. I don't think I was alive.
Probably not.
This presentation was awesome for Gunther. I think he should always be on the platform, no matter what now, every entrance, because he was standing on the announce table, but put him on the platform.
Yeah, just bring his own, yeah.
The only thing I dislike about this group is that Imperium as a group is great because of Gunther. Vinci and Kaiser kind of look like stooges. They always lose. They kind of remind me like J&J
I don't
Security.
disagree with that.
Like they always are losing. They're always the ones taking the pin, which you're not going to pin Gunther, but like I feel like they should be like right in the thick of the tag team division, and they're not.
Yeah, because I mean, even Vinci they did attempt the singles run in NXT with him, and it wasn't the worst. He did get that time to really, really shine once he was under that, outside of that shadow. But I would agree that now, it does seem like it's Gunther and then just 2 guys that flank him, and that's Imperium. And it definitely shouldn't be that way, because I mean, we saw what they did in NXT UK, and there's no reason they can't do that now with these tag team championships. The problem is there's still unified titles. Judgment Day is still running the place, and I mean, I think that if there were titles on each show, then they probably would be in the thick of things.
Why isn't there yet? They broke up the world title. Like, you have enough tag teams to have 2 divisions. You did it when you didn't have enough tag teams to do it. So why are you waiting now to do it? And this might be a discussion for a further podcast, and we don't need to get into it now. But does WWE have too many factions right now?
I don't think so. I mean, it's and maybe that's because I'm biased and it's a throwback nostalgia thing for me, because we had all those faction wars during the precipice of the Attitude Era. So I personally don't think so. I mean, if we're just going to rattle them off right now: Bloodline, Judgment Day, Imperium, Alpha Academy.
LWO.
Do we count LWO, Viking Raiders, New Day?
I mean, Biggie's not there, but
New Day's a faction. They factionists emeritus. That's what they are.
Yep.
Damage Control.
That's a lot.
It's 8 that I count. That's across 2 shows too.
Yeah.
But one of those does get to jump across quite a bit.
And the Bloodline used to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And the Bloodline's kind of no more anyway, so I don't know if we can count that. It's kind of Roman Solo and the
Jimmy's
Wise Man.
Jimmy's trying to weasel his way back in.
No, I think Jimmy's trying to weasel Solo's way out.
Now, let me ask you this, and I know that we're skipping a topic, but we are going to come back to Mr. L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Main event Jimmy. That's all that you have written in our shared note for today. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about this, as I was, getting ready for this today. We've seen them try to do the brother split before. The Hardys they tried that one twice. Now, first time didn't work out. I think they had a one-off match at Vengeance in 2001, and then were reunited by the Rumble that following year. Yep. Here in 2009, we got I cost Jeff the title at the Rumble, and then blow off the match at WrestleMania. So, yeah.
Killed his dog, ran him off the road. Don't forget all those details. Matt is a bad person.
He's just a little bit broken. It's all right. And,
it's fine. It's woken. Woken, broken.
Yeah. But, do you see this as realistically with these two? Do you think we're going to get a long-term singles run for both of these guys? Or is it we are just trying to get to this match in Philly?
I think we're getting to the match in Philly. I think they have something in Jay. And that's why they put him on Raw.
Oh, well, Jimmy, I was going to say Jimmy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Jay,
no.
Yes.
No, Jimmy, I don't know yet. We still need to see it. I personally think him and Solo are now going to tag. I think because you're not going to break those two apart. I think they have something in Jay. I think you're getting reactions. I think if they work at it, they can have something with Jimmy. And if, Trinity was still there, they might have a little bit of a fun group. But they don't. The reason I won't main event Jimmy is because they are obviously trying to push it.
Yeah.
And they're pushing it against AJ Styles.
It's a solid first program.
It is.
For a singles run. Yeah.
They threw him in the deep. And get out there and go have a great singles match with AJ Styles. That's good luck. Like AJ will make you look good, but
yeah.
You think this is going to lead to eventually Jimmy and Roman? Like, do we think we ever get that? Because we discussed this on Last Week in Wrestling podcast a little bit about do you see both of these guys as main event talents? And I think the group was a little bit split with Jimmy. I think everybody thinks Jay can be that guy.
Yes.
We just don't know about Jimmy, and I feel like
because we haven't really seen it.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all. That's all that it is.
He could do it. I like his heel character. He just kind of seems like a mid card guy.
Yeah, there's still just that X factor, that just when you see them both, great tag team. But if you say, which one do you think is going to have the best? Yeah, Jay, by a mile.
And that's Jimmy, because of the last 3 years with Jay.
Yeah, because he's had the opportunity to prove that, and that was what I was saying on Last Week in Wrestling too. Was like Jay had to do it because Jimmy was out, so like that it had to, and it fit, and the timing just helped turn it into one of the biggest stories in wrestling history. Then there was also when Jimmy was written off of TV earlier before the initial turn on Jay there, and that was in story as well, but Jay has been given that opportunity. Jimmy has not. So I don't think that we should expect I don't think that we should have any expectations going into this. Right now, they're just wanting to see if this, exactly, the singles run, we're going to see if it works or not. But we know that they're going to do whatever they can to build them both up as credible challengers for each other. If I had to guess, this is all going to come to a head at the Rumble. They're going to be in the match at the same time. I think that's how we get kickstarted here. It's just too easy to do. But, excuse me. But, as far as main event Jimmy, I want it for them because they are so great. We've seen it as a tag team. I want to see what they can do on their own. just right now, until we see more of the sample size from Jimmy, I think that Jay's got the higher ceiling.
As a wise man once told me, let's wait and see what happens.
Yeah. We will. We will. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Now let's get to a real superstar.
Yeah.
I think the LA Knight push is in full swing. We got the reports about him signing a new contract. He immediately got a new shirt. Immediately.
And it's a good looking shirt.
And then he had an interaction with Paul Heyman on SmackDown.
Yep.
You can't tell me that's not on purpose.
It is. It is. I mean, he deserves it. I mean, look at this. He should still be Max Dupree right now, and he's not.
Thank God he's not.
I know. I agree. But it is a testament to the work that he has done to get himself over so organically, and just with each passing week, those just dude. We felt that around 59,000 other people, and it's just unreal. That is they're not piping that in, that's for sure.
No,
but
they're not.
Yeah, this is good for him. This is great for him. I mean, the sky's the limit. I know that we both want to see him win the Rumble if we're lucky, and
I just want him on my TV. At this point, I just want him on my TV.
Well, it's working.
Like this interaction with Paul. Like I'm hoping I don't want to see him versus Roman because he's not going to beat Roman. I don't want to see that.
Fair.
Because I think you'll lose all the momentum. Because as much as great as this Roman run has been, when he beats somebody, they kind of lose all their momentum.
Yeah.
And that's just...
I guess he really is Thanos.
That's what happens. It just kind of happens when you lose to someone who's held the title for damn near 3 years. Like, you just kind of lose that momentum. But yes, I think LA Knight pushes in full swing. We got the endorsement from Cena.
Yep.
I think he gets a big spot in the Rumble. I would love to see him on Raw rather than SmackDown because of Roman. I think he would be right in the thick of things if it was the World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what happens. It seems like the company's behind him, and if he don't say sure, say yeah, and it's and it seems like now that he's locked up and he's not going to go anywhere, it's time to push him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah. And the sky's the limit for him. I think we both thought U.S. title by now. Not that there's anything wrong with Rey Mysterio holding the strap for what seems to be a larger story with the LWO. Did you see the
better than theory?
Did you see the new Merce YT video? It's what if Santos turned on Rey Mysterio. It's worth a look.
It's coming. I think it's coming. I think that's what they're trying to save that for.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that shirt's got to be still selling pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's they're doing the same thing they did with like Suplex City, where they're doing each town. They're doing, I think when in Detroit, we had the Detroit World Order. I think the last show they had wherever they were, was it Pittsburgh? They had Pittsburgh World Order. Yeah. Like they're going to sell some merch. And
we need a Cincy World Order.
They're not ever coming here. Only AEW comes here, and that's a good transition.
We're going tomorrow.
Yeah. We are going to AEW tomorrow. Yes, we are. We get a couple good things on the show. We get a fatal 4-way where the winner gets a shot at the women's title. We get to see Toni Storm, Hikaru Shida, Britt Baker, and Nyla Rose. We get Jon Moxley versus Big Bill for the international title.
I like that.
We also get, and I didn't know this was a trilogy, but we get Hangman Page versus Brian Cage 3, which I didn't know that was a trilogy. And there's one more we get. Samoa Joe and Roderick Strong in the title.
Roddy Orton Jr. to you.
Yeah, okay. And then we get to see Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara as they will speak. That is all that's announced so far.
All right, that's a fun little show for us here. So
we also have Rampage taping, so we will get 3 hours of wrestling, and it'll be interesting to compare the 3 hours of Raw we went to the 3 hours of AEW we're gonna endure.
Just make sure to bring an extra coffee for your boy.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, me. Did you watch Collision?
No, I caught some highlights.
Jade's back.
That's good. I like that. I need her on my TV screen.
That was probably and we'll talk about Danielson, but that was the biggest, I think, revelation on Collision was Jade came back and confronted Chris Statlander, and hopefully we can finish that story a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like that was very open ended. She went away. She missed the Wembley show, which I think is a mistake. And now you have her back. Does this mean she's going back for the TBS champion? I hope not. I hope Statlander can kind of finish that story and she moves on to bigger and better feuds. But it's also kind of what we brought up with Nia Jax. What's she been doing?
Living in her skin.
Hopefully she's been training.
I'd imagine she probably has, but I mean, I'm not. I don't think that we necessarily need to worry about what a wrestler is doing in their off time until they come back and until we see what it is they are going to do in the ring and what kind of program is being set up. Then once we've seen some in-ring product, then let's, judge on that, because quite frankly, I don't really care what she's been doing since she's been off TV. I'm just glad she's back. So
you know what role she'd be great in?
Let's hear it.
A heater for Mercedes Moné.
Oh, God, that's good. I felt that one in my soul.
Wouldn't that be great?
That'd
be
really cool. Up. That'd be really, really cool. Popped
off the dome.
Yeah, I like that. See, this is the beauty of going live, but we're just working without a net here.
You know who else is going to be working without a net for the next 7 months? Bryan Danielson. because I guarantee this guy is going to go nuts in the next 7 months as a full-time wrestler.
This is the farewell tour, it feels like. And and I think that we need to take a moment just to talk about the longevity and the, for lack of a better word, understated greatness of Bryan Danielson. Indie darling, solid WWE run, had his WrestleMania moment. Hold on, I'm coming back. Okay. The injury bug was not his friend during that run. And then to see what he's been able to do since he's come over to AEW, the worst he's had is the fractured arm. And he's come back and put on 5-star classics to the point that you almost forget that we almost didn't have him back for several years. And now that he has taken on such a role in AEW, and I think even after these 7 months are up, he's still going to be involved in AEW in some capacity behind the scenes. I think that, that's good money. There's an entire Total Divas episode about the fact that, he's never really had a real job before. This is a real job. This is a natural transition that is perfect for him. And while one chapter may be ending, we're probably going to start to just see some awesome stuff from everybody else that gets to sit under that learning tree. So I am super excited for what these last 7 months have in store for us with Bryan Danielson, but it's going to be really, really tough to say goodbye.
Solid WWE run. Dude has a top 5 WrestleMania moment of all time.
I know.
And you're telling me it's a solid run?
You focus on that.
I do.
And that adjective alone.
Look at the adjective, pal.
Whatever.
Play. No,
you know what I mean.
No, Danielson's going to go down as one of the greatest to ever do it. And I agree with what you're saying. Like, we need to appreciate what we have. So over the next couple months for this retirement tour or whatever it's going to be, I think it's going to be a full-time schedule tour. I think he'll come back and do some one-offs here and there because it's Danielson. He's not going to be able not to wrestle.
Yeah, their Saturday nights are way less crowded now.
What are some of the matches that you want to see over the next couple months? And this is like any promotion because this guy's just going to do whatever he wants for the next couple months. And Tony Khan's going to let him do that.
Yeah. Ospreay for sure.
That's one.
I'm excited for ZSJ at Wrestle Dream. That's just going to be a Matt classic.
There's two off the top of my head that I really, really want to see.
I would like to see him and Ray Phoenix.
Okay.
Jay White, Adam
That's
Cole.
one. Jay White is a big one. There's one that I really, really want to see. And he's wrestled him. Think back to Ring of Honor.
Joe?
Samoa Joe. God,
Yeah,
I want to see
Joe.
those two just beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah, they will.
Then they will. I also want to see something else with Moxley. I think that'd be fun.
Oh, yeah, for sure. International Championship? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think he gets a world title run out of this in these last 7 months?
I could see, and here's a scenario that just popped in my head today, and I'm glad that you pointed this out, because the way that this story started is because my daughter's birthday is turning 7. Mm-hmm. Now, if all things are told, her birthday is in May, and I don't know why we're even debating this on air. Let's just say that it is, okay, for the sake of this. Double or Nothing is in May. I know.
I'm going to retire too.
Don't. Anyway, I would like to see Danielson win the AEW World Title at Double or Nothing with family in attendance. He wins it, sees his daughter, gives it back. Thank you, and off into the sunset.
Yeah, that'd be a cool.
That'd be the coolest ending for Bryan Danielson, and it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. How many? I mean, he's had to relinquish some major championships over the years.
I mean,
this would be one that, this would be one where he goes out on his terms.
Yeah, I remember I was there when he relinquished the Intercontinental Champion.
Me too.
The entire crowd was, and you were in the crowd. The crowd was sad, man. It was a rough time. Yes, there is a ton of stuff that I want to see him do. Like, I'd love to see him go do, Wrestle Kingdom. I'd love to see him go do a CMLL show. Like, I'd love to see him
do something like QT Marshall.
No, I'll pass.
I'm kidding.
No, I'll pass on that one. Look, Big Bill.
Okay.
They got history.
Sure. Yeah, but
no, I don't want to see that either. But yes, there's a lot of names on that roster. Will Ospreay,
Justin Roberts. Justin Roberts owes him a receipt.
On a tie on a pole match. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, so we'll stay with his group. The BCC. Are they face? Yes. Are they heel? Are they neither? Because it seems like Danielson is going more of the face route. Moxley is wrestling Big Bill for some reason. That's kind of a face move. But Claudio and Wheeler are heels.
I'd say tweeners.
Okay.
They're kind of just like, well, if I rock with you, I rock with you. If I don't, I don't.
Is that an okay dynamic, you think?
I don't hate it. I mean, for a group like them, it's fine. I think that because of what they have done in their collective AEW runs, that this works. This seems to work perfectly.
Do you think they add anybody else? Because I know we teased like Garcia a while ago. That seems to have gone away.
Yeah.
Do you think they need anybody else? I feel like a manager wouldn't be terrible. I like the William Regal aspect of it. Obviously, he's not coming back.
Yeah.
But do you feel like I feel like somebody that would be great with that group is kind of a mouthpiece? And not that they need mouthpieces, they can cut promos, but kind of that corner guy that William Regal was if you throw Nigel McGuinness in there.
That could be pretty cool. That's actually a really good idea.
And there's another match for Danielson if Nigel can come out of retirement.
Yeah. And I know that we both said her name, but Serena Deeb.
Yeah.
Would be just perfect.
It would be good to add a female to the BCC, I think. I think it would be fun. I think it'd be a change of pace. Like the other, I don't know who else you would put on there, wrestling wise. Jessamine Duke. No. Like Serena D would be perfect.
I mean, she's yeah, like that would be. I think that if you were going to add an additional full-time wrestler, that's who it is. I don't think that there's room for anybody else other than her. Line starts behind her,
as it should. And again, someone else who should be on TV. Luckily,
yeah, I agree.
Luckily, AEW didn't sign Nia Jax.
Well, whatever.
I'm still bitter.
I know. Well, just give it a rest.
I will not. I'll never give it a rest.
I think that you should, but
this is the energy that I bring to the table. You signed up to do this with me.
Yeah, I did. I did actually.
Yeah,
I asked you, so
yeah. Yeah, you did. See that face? See that face right there?
You have to stop, dude.
I'm
you
a
have
heel.
to stop.
I'm a heel.
Whatever. Anything else that we need to talk about this week, bud?
No, just excited to go to AEW tomorrow. It's always fun to go to a wrestling show. Obviously, we get Rampage. We don't know what's going to be on Rampage. Fingers crossed that we can get the Acclaimed. I haven't seen them live. I really want to see them live.
That'd be cool.
House of Black would be cool to see live. I don't know if we'll get them, but like the Acclaimed is something I really want. I have not seen them live, and that's something I want to see.
Let's do it.
But yeah, obviously the schedule will change a little bit with us going to AEW tomorrow.
That's true.
We will probably not record, but there may be some clips that we throw out there on YouTube.
How
many shirts is fun? How many shirts is Eric going to buy? I'll set the over under at 2.5 right now.
It's actually, I think that's fair. I think that's a good number. That's very fair. That's it. Yeah. No, I'm not mad at that number. It's
a good number. If they do have the Acclaimed title belts.
Nope.
He's not going to buy that?
Nope.
We'll see.
No, I don't.
I'll get a few drinks in him. Then he'll buy it. Can't wait to post that picture on social media.
Hey! I held out for SummerSlam, didn't I? I almost bought a new Universal title there, but it was
dude, those belts were ridiculous.
Nah.
That was ridiculous. No, excited for wrestling this week. Are we ever going to get to see Roman Reigns again? We'll find out on SmackDown. What does Collision look like this week with more Danielson booking? And then we're kind of on the on the lane to Fastlane. I don't know why I said that, but that's what I said. And kind of on the build to Wrestle Dream as well. Kind of see where they do that. I do have a question on that. Do you think we get an MJF match, world title defense on Wrestle Dream? Because I think they're going to do the winner of this tournament takes on MJF at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Do you think it's a world title defense, or do you think him and Adam Cole defend the tag titles? And if yes, who?
I'm going to say a world title winner of that tournament, just because I can't think of any teams right now that are in contention. I guess we should start watching Ring of Honor.
No, I mean the Dark Order just challenged for it. So they can kind of pull names out of a hat and they'll challenge for them.
I think Jericho and AR Fox. There we go.
maybe Jericho and Guevara. They're continuing that story.
Yeah, I kind of need that one I need them to piss or get off the pot on that story.
They won't. It's
Jericho. But I would very much appreciate it if they did. Is all I'm saying.
I know you would. Nope. I'm anything exciting on NXT tonight? I haven't really checked out the lineup.
Yeah, we've got Becky Lynch, Tiffany Stratton for the NXT Women's Championship.
We do have that, don't we?
Yeah. This one, I'm not gonna say it gives me pause, but I'm like, are we really gonna take the title off? I mean, this soon? I would hope not.
No.
But I don't see Becky losing tonight. Yeah.
Nah, something will happen. She'll cheat or something will happen.
Schmaz or
yeah. There's somebody else you could have brought up to the main roster, by the way.
Yeah, I guess.
Roxanne Perez, Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah. Cora Jade.
You want me to keep going?
But
are we going to see Von Wagner tonight? Probably not.
I would imagine no.
Apparently got his head split open. Gable Stevenson was on an NXT house show.
Well, he was also removed from the NXT roster, and I just don't care anymore. Like, you were drafted to Raw, you had your debut match in NXT, and then all of a sudden you're just not on their roster anymore. Like, what more is there that they can actually realistically do with you?
They cheered Baron Corbin over you.
That's not easy.
That shows you where you are, sir.
Man, yeah, no. Well, no, and the thing is, let me just touch on that very quickly. I know that we're getting ready to take it home here, but I'm still not any more sold on Von Wagner on this. Like, this doesn't garner. I mean, that was a cool spot. Like, I like that. Like, it's cool at the end of the show like that. I love the immediate cut to black to end the broadcast, but can't say this means that, like, oh my god, I gotta watch Von Wagner. Oh my god, when's he gonna come back and when's he gonna take on Braun again? I don't care.
I think he needs a better mouthpiece.
Yeah, I don't think that Robert Stone is it, but
just because they haven't established him.
Yeah, no. Make Robert Stone Robbie E again. Problem solved.
Don't do that.
What?
Do that. No.
Sure, with that attitude.
Yeah, that trend's done.
Yeah.
That Jersey Shore window is gone. Unless Vince has just seen it.
Hey, we should do. There needs to be a Jersey Shore family vacation era in pro wrestling. Okay, we're all a little bit older, a little bit wiser.
We're off the rails.
I think it is about time that we, take this home. Podcast Dad, you got anything else to?
Be nice to everybody. Enjoy wrestling. It's fun to enjoy both shows. We're going to an AEW show, and then a couple weeks later, we're Fastlane. We like both shows.
Yeah, take it from us. We like both.
Enjoy wrestling.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more, my friend. Always good to see you. We're going to be enjoying some wrestling tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching the Wrestling Junkies podcast. Make sure to hit that QR code in the corner. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification button so you can be notified of when all these awesome new videos come out and when we go live. For the podcast, Dad, please knock that off. I am Mr. Cincinnati, and I should just cut your camera right now. And I almost... Okay. Anyway,
love you guys.
This is the Wrestling Junkie podcast. We will talk to you guys soon.